From Elevate Digital, the Vocal Minority Report presents the Negro News Minute. Dateline, Tulsa, Oklahoma. No justice, no peace. Hide your unarmed motorist because fresh off her acquittal for the fatal shooting of an unarmed black motorist, Mr. Terrence Crutcher, police officer Betty Shelby returns to work today. Mr. Crutcher's death was captured on video on September 16, 2016, and 5-year veteran Shelby was found not guilty after 9 hours of deliberation last Wednesday, according to Tulsa World. District Judge Doug Drummond asked the courtroom ahead of the verdict to trust the system, adding, quote, "This is a very difficult case with lots of issues." I wonder what those issues were, because the prosecutors had argued that Shelby used an unreasonable amount of force against Crutcher on September 16th. She encountered him along with his stalled vehicle on a city street. You can see in the video he's walking away from the officers with his hands in the air before he's shot in the chest by Shelby. Shelby has been on paid leave during her trial for first-degree manslaughter, where the minimum penalty was 4 years and a max was life. So let's talk about what first-degree manslaughter is, right? As defined in Oklahoma, it occurs when a death results from one of the 3 specific criteria. Number 1, when perpetrated without design to effect death by a person while engaged in the commission of a misdemeanor. 2, when perpetrated without a design to effect death in the heat of passion, but in a cruel and unusual manner or by means of a dangerous weapon, unless it is committed under such circumstances as constitute excusable or justifiable homicide. 3, when perpetuated unnecessarily, either while resisting an attempt by the person killed to commit a crime or such attempt shall have failed. Mr. Crutcher's father, Joseph, said, quote, "Let it be known that I believe in my heart that Betty Shelby got away with murder. I don't know what was in the mind of that jury." Mr. Crutcher's sister, Tiffany, accused the police of trying to cover up her brother's murder to protect Shelby and criticized them for not immediately providing care after he was shot. In an event that began as a routine traffic stop but quickly escalated after Shelby, who had 3 officers flank her on each side, shot Crutcher, who was standing next to his stalled SUV with his arms over his head. Shelby said in her statement that she feared for her life and believed Crutcher to be reaching for a gun during the incident. She also claimed he appeared to be on drugs. There was a toxicology report that revealed Crutcher was on hallucinogenic drugs, including PCP, but he had no weapons at the time, so I don't know how much fear you could be under, short of a black man being a hype job, it would appear. Mary Fallin, the Oklahoma governor, issued a statement asking the state's residents to, quote, "respect our criminal justice system," adding, "Those who disagree with the verdict have the right to express their opinions. I just ask that they do it in a peaceful manner." You know, the nerve of some of these politicians, I mean, obviously nobody wants somebody to tear down the street, but I feel like they always come out and want to make a point to say, hey, disgruntled black folks, y'all don't get too out of line here. We know it's messed up, but kind of is what it is. The Justice Department launched its own investigation into possible civil rights charges related to Crutcher's death, but the status of that inquiry is unclear. You all remember that here recently or earlier this month, the same Justice Department decided not to charge the Baton Rouge officers in the fatal shooting of Alton Sterling.
I think the thing that gets me the most, though, the thing that is most dangerous about this whole situation is just the way that Trump is taking lying to a whole new level. And to me, it's not even big lies so much as the casual lying, which is the worst part of what he's doing. And then his minions, we called like Kellyanne Conway, Spokes Goblin, and some of these people. They just carry on the lying. They don't even care, And I hate it when people drew that comparison with Hillary and Trump. To me, and I've said this before, to me, Hillary lied like a politician, but Trump lies like an alcoholic. And I don't mean to offend any alcoholic. In fact, better yet, he lies like a crackhead. Trump lies exactly like a crackhead. He cannot stop himself from lying. And the crack that he's trying to get is basically just more attention. It's just all about Trump. That's the narcissism part. That's what's so sad about it. He just wants attention. I think he would destroy the entire world just to get more attention. But the dangerous part of this, and this is a little more serious for me, because the dangerous part of this casual lying, and especially the way that he's gone after the press, to me, it's a complete assault on the truth. And I talked about this when I was on Bill Maher not long ago. And I really am concerned about that, because to me, that is the first step in an authoritarian regime, that assault on the truth, where he doesn't want you to believe in anybody that is saying anything other than what he is presenting to us as his truth. That's the whole thing about the alternative facts. And he's doing all he can to pummel people's belief in institutions and the things that, no matter what side you are on, that you can take reporters for what they're telling us, And to me, I feel like on this show and with what I'm doing and with what people are doing out there, I'm going to do all I can to prevent the Mango Mussolini from becoming ripe.
Dateline somewhere in the podcast sphere. He's black, y'all. I mean, back. Well, no, he is black. He's black on the air. Yep, one of my favorite people, the great Larry Wilmore, is back. But as you've heard, it's not on TV. Well, not in front of the camera. The former host of The Nightly Show, who was so wronged by Comedy Central prior to the Trump getting elected, has a new podcast called Black on the Air, which is a bomb-ass title, by the way. The show debuted May 11th with Norman Lear as his guest, and it was great, as you can imagine. Norman Lear is a pioneer. I mean, he created and or produced hit shows like Maude, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, All in the Family, Good Times. So needless to say that the 94-year-old is a legend and really sharp as a tack still. Great conversation they had. And then with Larry also having written for In Living Color, created The Bernie Mac Show, co-creating Blackish, HBO's Insecure with Issa Rae there. There was a natural connection they had, and Larry is a pretty good interviewer, but I thought he did really well in the long form fashion. So I think I have a little bit of experience there. So episode 1 was great. Episode 2, he gets in on Bill Cosby's ass, that as he's wont to do. And he had Bernie Sanders as a guest on the show. So you all know that I tuned out of that one because I'm not really interested in Bernie, unless he wants to come on the Vocal Minority Report. I didn't listen to all of episode 2, but the beginning part definitely is worth it. And now that he's back in that space, I've definitely got to reach out to him and get him as a guest on our show. So make sure you check that out. It's called Black on the Air, podcast. You guys know how to find those. Dateline, Salem, Massachusetts. Trump has done nothing but great things for our country during his presidency and will fix all the wrong that nigger president did. Hashtag Make America Great Again. Our education revolves around white working Americans. We don't need immigrant thieves in our school. We are better than this. All that Black Lives Matter shit is unneeded and unnecessary in our community. Young Thug is God. I'm sure y'all are wondering, what the hell is he doing? Well, those were a series of tweets that were sent from Salem State University's Twitter page on Friday night, the night before their graduation. According to the Salem State University official Twitter page, they cited on Friday night that Salem State University's Twitter account has been hacked by unknown miscreants and will be shut down forthwith. So I read you guys the tweets because they were kind of crazy. I think they clearly show a hack. University President Patricia Messervy said in an emailed statement that none of the recent tweets, which were sent out around 11:45 on Friday, represented the views of the school, as if she had to really say that. But she said, quote, "We have done great work in the area of social justice and will continue to do so until incidents such as this no longer occur. As a community, we are committed to stand against such hateful acts." In a Reuters article, they note the number of hate crimes in the United States has surged since the election of Trump, fueled by passions inflamed during a campaign that focused on issues such as race, religion, and national origin. This according to a report from the Center for Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University in San Bernardino. Salem State University is located about 25 miles north of Boston. Oh, isn't that a really open and accepting city? Interesting that this would happen near there. But anyway, that's a city that's famous for its 1692 witch trials. The college has an enrollment of about 9,000, and about 35% of the freshman class this year were of racial minorities, its website said. I wonder if they listen to the show. Dateline, Pennsylvania. Does anybody know if Spanish fly cures blindness? Well, the man who was the subject of the first episode of the Vocal Minority Report. Oh, by the way, episode 51 of the Vocal Minority Report will be out this week with Payne Lindsay, host of Up and Vanished. Back to the news, though. Bill Cosby is the man we speak of. As we mentioned, Larry Wilmore had gotten in that ass again. And today it just happens to be the day that jury selection starts for his trial. That jury's going to be picked in Pittsburgh. Cosby is on trial for sexual assault of Andrea Contrat, the former director of women's basketball operations at Temple University. You know, I wonder if when he was wearing those Temple sweaters on the Cosby Show and everywhere, he ever thought he'd be in this kind of situation. Almost 80, completely blind, and having to pay lawyers to defend him in court. He said he won't testify. That's what the lawyers are there for.
It's the voice of Bill Cosby, recorded in conversation with his daughter, Erin. And joining me now to explain why is Bill Cosby himself.
That's right, motherfucker. I have not forgotten about you. Bill Cosby, you guys, what is he doing? He's back. We go away. We are done. We don't want to hear about this. The trial's coming up now, and I don't know how he got this interview with Michael Smerconish. They did it on Sirius. It was the most bizarre interview ever. I mean, I like Michael Smerconish, but he's asking him questions about Mother's Day and all kinds of bizarre stuff. But there were a couple of interesting excerpts, but that I just want to touch on real quick. And he asked him whether or not he's going to testify. And let's just hear what he said there.
Don't you want to testify and tell your story?
No.
Why not?
Once again, I go back to lawyers. When you have to deal with examination, cross-examination, et cetera, more than 2 sides to every story. Sometimes it's 4 or 5.
Wait, stop right there. 4 or 5. How about 60 sides to a story? What do you mean sometimes there's more than 2 sides? Like, that's the thing that gets me about this case. I mean, yes, when things are he said, she said, I get it. There's so many possibilities. But as I've said before about this is not he said, she said. This is he said, she 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 said. I think that's 60. It may just be 50, but I'm not sure. That's a lot of she said, Cosby. That is a lot, okay? Yes, there's a lot that you have to get straight in your mind before you figure out what to say. And on that point, can you keep playing that clip, you guys? You have to hear the end of this.
I just don't want to sit there and have to figure out what I believe is a truthful answer as to whether or not I'm opening a can of something that my lawyers are scrambling.
Okay, stop it. Please stop it. Figure out, listen to what he said. I don't want to sit there. I don't want to sit there and have to figure out what I believe is a truthful answer. Well, you don't have to do that. You can just tell the truth. This is unbelievable to me. The phrase, figure out what I believe is a truthful answer, is the actual definition of lying. When you spend time to figure out what to say in order for it to sound like the truth, that's what lying is, Cosby. I can't even believe that he would make such a statement and think that we don't know that's what lying is. Okay, but he wasn't finished then. Then they actually brought up racism, which is unbelievable to me. Let's just play that.
I strongly believe my father is innocent of the crimes alleged against him, and I believe that racism has played a big role in all aspects of this scandal.
Do you agree with that?
Could be.
No. Stop. Not could be, Cosby. Not could be. Racism has nothing to do with it. You guys know, if something is racist, I will call it out. But you cannot use the race card in this instance. Your race card will be revoked. Sir, can I see your race card, please? I'm going to have to see some ID. Sorry, this card is over the limit. You cannot use the race card in this case. In fact, it was even a black man that started all this. It was Hannibal Buress, as you recall, that talked about this in his stand-up and started the talk about this, which opens up a whole different can of worms. If anything, this more has to do with sexism than it has to do with the racism. This whole Cosby thing, including the Ailes thing and the Bill O'Reilly thing with Fox News, this is more common in how our society has colluded with powerful men to keep victimized women silent, is what this whole issue is about to me. Sexism completely trumps racism in this case. Sexism, let's be honest, guys, goes back further than racism.
Now, that's audio from Larry Wilmore's podcast, Black on the Air, courtesy of them. And he shouted out where the audio came from, so I don't have to do that again. So Cosby clearly calls the 2004 encounter consensual. He is facing a 10-year prison term if convicted. Montgomery County Judge Stephen O'Neill will question the jury during the estimated 2-week trial because of the frenzied media coverage expected. Jurors are going to be about 300 miles from home across the state in suburban Philadelphia as opposed to Pittsburgh. The trial will start June 5th, and one other accuser will be allowed to testify for prosecutors who hope to show that Cosby's encounter with Constant was not accidental, but part of a broader pattern of sexual misconduct. The Associated Press, where we got some of this story from, does not typically identify people who say they're sexual assault victims unless they grant permission, which Ms. Constant has done. Dateline Hollywood, California. So speaking of sexual assault, I know everyone spent the last 7 months lamenting the loss of one of this nation's treasures. But alas, we don't have to mourn and or speculate anymore because like Larry Wilmore, Billy Bush is back, baby. The embattled and embarrassed Fluff TV host has broken his silence for a Hollywood Reporter cover story.
She used to be very, she's still very beautiful. I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
It's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Your girl's hot as shit in the purple.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, the Donald has scored. Oh, my man. Wait, you got to look at me when you get out of your legs.
Set this up.
That is very...
You give me the thumbs up.
You are a
You got to put the thumbs up. You got to get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy.
else off first?
Yeah, let me.
It's very funny.
You got to give me the thumbs up.
All right, you and I will walk down.
Oh, my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her, with the gold. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Oh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way, honey. That's good legs. Go ahead.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Down below. Pull the hell.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Trump, how
nice
are you?
seeing you. Terrific.
Pleasure to meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing, Ariane?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the
Would
bus.
you like a little hug,
Okay,
darling?
absolutely.
How about a
Melania
little
said
hug for
this
the
was
bushy?
okay.
I just got off the bus.
Bushy.
There we go. Excellent. Well, you've got a nice co-star here.
Good.
Yes,
After
absolutely.
you. Come on, Billy. Don't be
As
shy.
soon as a beautiful woman shows up, he takes
Get over
off
here,
on this.
Billy.
Always happens.
I'm sorry, come here.
Let the little guy in there. Come
Yeah,
on.
let the little guy in. How you feel now, better? I should actually...
It's hard to walk next to a guy like
Here, wait,
this.
hold on.
Yeah, you get in the middle. There we go.
Good. That's
This is
better.
much better. This is...
That's better.
Now, if you had to choose, honestly, between one of us, me or the Donald,
I don't know. That's
That's
tough
some pressure right
competition.
there.
Yeah.
seriously, you had to take one of us as a date.
I have to take the fifth on that one.
Really?
Yep, I'll take both.
Which way?
Make it right. Here we go. Goodbye. Right of the days.
Here he goes. I'm going to leave you here.
Okay.
Get my microphone.
Okay. You gonna? Oh, you're finished?
You're my man. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm going to go do our show.
Oh, you want to reset? Okay.
I bet he wants a reset after listening to that whole thing again. I know it was long, but hearing him fanboy out and really be awkward and inappropriate is a real trip to me. You know, I think he was just hyped to be around and impressed with the Donald. I don't think he should have lost his job either, but since he did, oh well. The 45-year-old TV host told The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "I could not put two thoughts together. Things were happening way too fast." You think? Remember, this was on the heels of the crazy Ryan Lochte Olympic story. And if you remember the video of him charging up my man Al Roker about it, so he may have already been on some proverbial thin ice. His hiring as the co-host of the 9 a.m. hour of NBC's Today Show was somewhat controversial anyway, given his lack of hard news experience and a snarky red carpet presence. Initially, it had been thought that NBC News would allow him back after an apology, but that didn't happen. Many enraged viewers vowed to never watch Today again, and that attitude could be felt internally as well, with several NBC News staffers, many of them women, incredulous that Bush would be allowed to return so soon or at all. By the following Monday, Bush was suspended, and then 7 days later, October 17th, he was out with the multi-million-dollar severance package and a non-disclosure agreement that prevents him from going into detail about what his exit from NBC News really consisted of. He says he still has no idea who leaked the tape. He said he was on a plane when he found out and has spent the last 7 months soul-searching and spending more time than he ever has with his 3 daughters. Well, I bet he has. They don't have no damn job. He told The Hollywood Reporter in the interview, quote, "With Donald, there wasn't much interaction. He sort of talks and performs, and everybody reacts. And the topics were usually golf, gossip, or women. And boy, do I wish this was a golf day. But I always had a nervous energy through these situations because he also decided a lot of times from day to day, moment to moment, who he liked, who was in, and who was out. And my job was to remain in. I needed to be in, or maybe I'd be out. So that was the Trump environment." Interesting. Sounds familiar. For Elevate Digital, the Vocal Minority Report, this has been the Negro News Minute. All power to the people. Peace.